We live in an age that worships excitement and despises faithfulness. We want the rush of the mountaintop, but we despise the long road that leads there. We want the crown without the cross, the harvest without the plowing, the testimony without the trial. And so we live inconsistent lives, driven by emotion, ruled by comfort, mastered by convenience. One day we are on fire, the next day we are cold. One day we are disciplined, the next day we are indulgent. One day we say we will never go back, and the next day we are right back where we started. And we wonder why there is no power, no depth, no endurance in our lives. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not make headlines. It does not draw applause. It is quiet, repetitive, unseen, and often thankless. But consistency is the soil where true strength grows. It is the daily decision to do what is right when no one is watching, when you feel nothing, when there is no immediate reward. It is the refusal to negotiate with your flesh. It is the resolve that says, I do not live by moods, I live by conviction. You must understand this: most people do not fail because they are incapable, but because they are inconsistent. They start strong and finish weak. They make promises they do not keep. They wait to feel motivated instead of obeying what they already know is right. They confuse intensity with faithfulness. Intensity burns hot but fast. Faithfulness burns steady and long. One will impress people for a moment. The other will change a life. There is a lie that has crept into our thinking, subtle but deadly. The lie says that rest is earned through indulgence, that if you work hard for a while, you deserve to let go for a while. That discipline is seasonal, that holiness can be paused, that obedience can take a vacation. But truth says otherwise. Truth says that character is revealed in the ordinary days. Truth says that what you do repeatedly shapes who you become permanently. No day off does not mean no rest. It means no compromise. It means no truce with sin. It means no permission given to laziness, excuses, or self-pity. It means that even on the days when your body is tired, your mind is weary, and your emotions are dry, your convictions remain intact. You do not clock out of integrity. You do not take a break from obedience. You do not suspend discipline because today feels hard. Look at your life carefully, not your intentions, not your words, not your plans. Look at your patterns. Patterns do not lie. They reveal what you truly value. They expose what truly rules you. If your life is marked by inconsistency, it is not because you lack knowledge. It is because something else has taken the throne. Comfort, fear, pleasure, approval. And as long as those things rule, consistency will always feel like cruelty instead of freedom. The disciplined life is not a prison. It is a weapon. It is how you break free from being ruled by impulse. It is how you silence the voice that says, just today doesn't matter, because today always matters. Today is never just today. Today is shaping tomorrow. Every small compromise makes the next one easier. Every small act of obedience makes the next one stronger. People love to talk about big moments, breakthroughs, encounters, turning points. But they ignore the truth that those moments are built on thousands of ordinary, obedient decisions. No one wakes up strong. Strength is trained. No one stumbles into endurance. Endurance is forged. No one accidentally becomes consistent. Consistency is chosen again and again, especially when it hurts. You say you want to change, then stop waiting for a feeling. Feelings are terrible masters. They come and go like the wind. Conviction stays. Do what is right because it is right, not because it feels good. Train yourself to obey in silence, without applause, without affirmation. If you cannot obey when no one is watching, you will never stand when everyone is. There are days when you will wake up and everything in you will resist discipline. Your body will argue. Your mind will negotiate. Your past will whisper. Your future will seem far away. On those days, consistency is not heroic. It is brutal. It is simple obedience with no emotional payoff. And those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that separate the sincere from the shallow. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not mock daily faithfulness. Do not underestimate the power of showing up again. One prayer when you feel nothing is worth more than 100 prayers fueled by emotion. One act of self-control in private is more powerful than 1,000 public declarations. The quiet war you win when no one knows is shaping you into someone who cannot be easily shaken. We are too quick to quit, too quick to excuse, too quick to explain ourselves instead of correcting ourselves. We blame our upbringing, our schedule, our stress, our personality. But responsibility does not disappear because life is hard. Difficulty does not cancel duty. Pressure does not remove accountability. If anything, pressure reveals who we truly are. Consistency demands humility. It forces you to admit that you are not special, that you need structure, that you cannot trust your impulses. It strips away the fantasy that you can live on inspiration alone. It teaches you to submit your life to order, to routine, to perseverance. And pride hates that. Pride wants shortcuts. Pride wants exceptions. Pride wants to be the rule. Discipline says no. Discipline says you will do what is required whether you like it or not. You must stop romanticizing inconsistency. Stop calling it being human when it is really being undisciplined. Stop excusing patterns that are destroying you. Yes, you are human. Yes, you are weak. That is precisely why you need consistency. That is precisely why you need boundaries, habits, and unwavering commitments. Freedom is not found in doing whatever you want. Freedom is found in having the strength to do what you should. Every day off from discipline is not neutral. It is costly. It dulls your edge. It weakens your resolve. It teaches your flesh that it can win. And your flesh is a terrible teacher. It will always demand more and give less. The moment you give it permission, it will take authority. That is why no day off matters. Because the battle does not take days off. Look at those who endure, those who finish well, those who stand firm when others fall. You will not find that their lives were dramatic. You will find that they were steady. They did not rely on bursts of passion. They built rhythms. They guarded their time. They honored their commitments. They understood that faithfulness over time produces fruit that excitement never could. You want a strong mind? Train it daily. You want a disciplined body? Submit it daily. You want a resilient spirit? Feed it daily. Neglect does not announce itself loudly. It whispers. It says, tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And one day you wake up and wonder where your strength went. Consistency is warfare. It is resistance against entropy, against decay, against the slow drift toward ease. Everything in this world moves toward disorder if it is not actively maintained. Your life is no different. You do not drift into excellence. You drift into mediocrity. Excellence must be pursued. Discipline must be defended. Do not wait for life to slow down. It never will. Do not wait for the perfect season. It does not exist. Do not wait until you feel ready. Readiness comes through obedience, not before it. Start where you are. Start with what you know. Start today. And then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. There will be days you fail. Do not let failure become a vacation. Get up, repent, correct. Continue. Consistency is not perfection. It is persistence. It is refusing to let a fall turn into a pattern. It is refusing to let shame silence obedience. The disciplined life is not about never falling. It is about never staying down. You must decide who you are when no one is pressuring you, who you are when no one is reminding you, who you are when no one is applauding you. Because that person is the real you, and that person is being shaped every single day by what you choose to do or not do. If you want depth, you must embrace repetition. If you want strength, you must embrace resistance. If you want endurance, you must embrace monotony. There is no other way. Every shortcut robs you. Every excuse delays you. Every day off from conviction costs you more than you realize. The world celebrates talent, but talent without consistency is a liability. It creates pride without endurance. It produces flashes without substance. Character outlasts talent every time. And character is built in the unseen hours, through daily obedience, through consistent self-denial, through saying no when no one would blame you for saying yes. Do not measure your life by how you feel at the end of the day. Measure it by whether you were faithful. Feelings will lie to you. Faithfulness will not. At the end of your life, you will not wish you had been more comfortable. You will wish you had been more disciplined. You will not regret the days you stood firm. You will regret the days you compromised. So make a decision, not an emotional one, a settled one. Decide that obedience is not optional. Decide that discipline is not seasonal. Decide that your convictions do not bend with your moods. Decide that there is no day off from doing what is right, and then live like that decision is final. Wake up and do what must be done. When it is boring, do it. When it is hard, do it. When no one notices, do it. When you are tired, do it. When you are misunderstood, do it. When progress seems slow, do it. Because consistency is not about speed. It is about direction. And if you stay the course long enough, strength will come, clarity will come, fruit will come, and you will become someone who cannot be easily moved, shaken, or broken by the changing winds of life. We are drawn to the extraordinary. We hunger for moments that shake us, encounters that thrill us, experiences that make life feel larger than ourselves. We chase the high of emotion, the pulse of excitement, the recognition of achievement. Yet if our lives are built solely on the extraordinary, we will find ourselves empty, fragile, and shallow. True strength is not birthed in bursts of brilliance or in moments of inspiration. True strength is forged quietly, relentlessly, in the ordinary, in the unnoticed, in the daily grind where the soul must decide again and again whether it will obey or surrender. Most people cannot grasp this. They look at those who endure, those who are resilient, those who finish strong, and they attribute their life to talent, opportunity, or luck. They do not see the hours, the decades, the daily acts of fidelity that created the life they admire. They do not see the early mornings when no one was there to cheer. They do not see the repetition, the monotony, the moments where nothing happened, but something was built. Strength does not come from the dramatic. It comes from the mundane acted upon faithfully. Consider the way a tree grows. No one witnesses its first leaf. No one cheers as its roots slowly reach deeper into the soil. No one celebrates the gradual thickening of the trunk or the patient stretching of its branches toward the sun. And yet, in silence, over time, it becomes strong enough to withstand storms that would uproot weaker plants. So it is with the human soul. Faithfulness in small things, in ordinary routines, in unseen obedience, is what fortifies a person to withstand trials, temptation, and adversity. Every day, choices are made that seem insignificant at the time. Waking up on time, doing the tasks no one notices, being honest when a lie would be easier, showing kindness when it is inconvenient. These moments appear small, even meaningless, but they are building blocks of strength. Strength is not measured by grand gestures or fleeting victories. It is measured by endurance, by the ability to remain faithful to what is right when no one is watching, when no one applauds, when it is lonely and tedious. Faithfulness in the ordinary requires discipline. It demands that we do not wait for motivation, inspiration, or feelings of zeal. These are unreliable masters. They rise and fall like the tide, bringing the illusion of progress one day and leaving emptiness the next. Discipline, however, is steadfast. It binds the soul to purpose, the body to action, the mind to conviction, even when every fiber resists. Discipline says, I will act because it is right, not because it feels right. And this is where true strength is cultivated through repetition, through obedience in the mundane, through small acts compounded over time. Many fail because they underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think that change must be dramatic to matter. They believe that holiness, integrity, or skill can be achieved overnight in bursts of fervor. But life does not work that way. Every day we are faced with countless decisions that seem inconsequential. Each one carries weight. Every choice to obey, to act faithfully, is a seed sown into the soil of character. Every choice to compromise, to cut corners, to seek ease, is a seed sown into weakness. Over time, the sum of these choices becomes the person we are. There is no shortcut to strength. There is no substitute for the painstaking process of doing the right thing day after day in the ordinary. People despise this because it is uncomfortable. It is boring. It does not provide immediate recognition or validation. But if you will submit to this process, if you will show up faithfully in the small things, strength will grow quietly but irreversibly. You will begin to notice that your mind is steadier, Your will is firmer. Your character is less easily shaken. You will begin to see that the ordinary acts of faithfulness are not wasted. They are the scaffolding of a life that cannot be easily toppled. Faithfulness in the ordinary also teaches humility. It reminds us that we are not masters of our impulses, that we cannot rely on sudden bursts of courage or brilliance to sustain us. We must rely on what is constant, our commitment to do what is right, to persevere, to remain faithful even when it is difficult, unglamorous, or unseen. Humility is forged when we learn to trust obedience over emotion, consistency over inspiration. The ordinary becomes sacred when it is approached with intentionality and reverence. Consider the example of long-term mastery in any field. Musicians, athletes, craftsmen, scholars, all of them achieve excellence not through occasional bursts of effort, but through relentless, disciplined repetition over years. They endure monotony, frustration, failure, and fatigue. They perform the same motions over and over, refining skill, building endurance, and strengthening their capacity to act under pressure. This principle is not limited to skill. It applies to character. The soul becomes strong in the same way through faithful, repeated actions in the ordinary moments of life. Faithfulness in the ordinary also cultivates resilience. Life will inevitably bring storms, disappointment, loss, temptation, failure, pain. The person who has practiced consistency in the small things will withstand these storms with far greater stability than one who has relied on occasional bursts of passion. The mundane decisions they have made daily over years have fortified their mind, their spirit, and their resolve. When the extraordinary comes, it does not overwhelm them because the ordinary has prepared them for endurance. Another truth must be confronted. The ordinary often feels thankless. You may serve without recognition. You may sacrifice without reward. You may persevere without applause. This is the test of faithfulness. Strength is built not in what is celebrated, but in what is obeyed. Your consistency in small, unnoticed acts shapes you more than any grand gesture ever could. The person who cannot remain faithful in the small things will rarely succeed in the large. They will falter when the stakes rise because they have never trained their character in the ordinary. Faithfulness in the ordinary also shapes relationships. Trust, loyalty, and integrity are not demonstrated in dramatic declarations, but in consistent actions. People notice over time who can be counted on, who does what they say they will do, who acts rightly even when inconvenient. Faithfulness in ordinary life builds credibility and influence, not because it seeks to impress, but because it cannot be shaken. Others are drawn not to brilliance, but to reliability. They respect and follow those whose lives demonstrate consistency in what truly matters. This principle also applies to spiritual life. True devotion is not found in emotional highs, in the rare moments of inspiration, or in occasional acts of extraordinary faith. It is found in daily prayer, consistent meditation, habitual obedience, and small acts of humility. The ordinary disciplines of the soul are where spiritual strength is cultivated. If you neglect the ordinary, you leave your soul fragile, susceptible to temptation, and unprepared for the trials that inevitably come. If you embrace the ordinary faithfully, your spirit will grow resilient, steady, and deep. There is an eternal perspective to consider. Faithfulness in ordinary actions is never wasted. Every act of integrity, every moment of patience, every sacrifice made without fanfare is stored in eternity. These are the hidden investments that shape not only your life, but the lives of others, often in ways you cannot perceive. The ordinary becomes the vehicle for lasting impact when it is performed with intention and faithfulness. Strength is not measured in visibility, but in substance, and substance is cultivated in ordinary obedience. To live faithfully in the ordinary is to reject shortcuts, instant gratification, and superficial success. It is to embrace the slow, sometimes painful process of becoming someone who is steady, reliable, and strong. It is to understand that endurance, skill, and character are not accidents of life, but the product of deliberate, consistent effort. It is to choose day after day, moment after moment, to act rightly even when no one notices, even when it is difficult, even when it is boring. In doing so, you develop a life that cannot be easily swayed. You cultivate a strength that endures beyond circumstances, beyond applause, beyond temporary recognition. You become someone who can weather storms, who can persevere when all else fails, who can stand firm when the world around you crumbles. Faithfulness in the ordinary is the slow, quiet forging of the soul into a weapon of resilience, a vessel of integrity, and a source of enduring power that cannot be taken away. No one can hand this strength to you. It is not found in talent, in luck, in brief inspiration, or in dramatic moments. It is earned step by step, day by day, through consistent obedience to what is right. It grows in silence, in monotony, in repetition, in the small acts that seem inconsequential, but are building the framework of your life. Those who despise the ordinary despise their own future strength. Those who embrace it discover a depth and resilience that transforms not only themselves, but everyone around them. The ordinary is not beneath notice. It is the battlefield where character is won. It is where endurance is forged. It is where faithfulness proves itself. It is where the soul is tempered and strengthened for the trials, responsibilities, and opportunities that will inevitably come. To be faithful in the ordinary is to be strong. To ignore it is to be fragile. To embrace it is to cultivate a strength that is quiet, steady, relentless, and enduring, capable of withstanding everything life can throw, because it has been built day by day in the fire of faithful repetition.